where the heck are the patterns? Like, you go to 3 of them and you can't find the patterns in the pattern drawer. But I'm going to show you what I picked up. The MCCALL patterns, all right, during the dumpster dive. So if that's some content you would like to see, please continue to watch.
Where's Da Vinci?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video I'm going to share with you the last portion of this dumpster dive. I guess you could call it a series or whatever. And in this video I'm going to be showing you those MCCALL patterns. Now, if you remember from last week when I showed you the simplicity patterns that I picked up, because it was so many patterns, I said that I'm going to close this out with the MCCALL patterns that I picked up, okay, during the dumpster dive. So all the patterns I'm going to show you are free. However, I did go to my Joann's, and the MCCALL'S and No Me patterns for summer 2023 are not in my store. Let me take that back. The No Me patterns are in my store, but the MCCALL'S are not. So I decided not to grab the No Me's right then and there because the MCCALL'S are not there, and all of the No Me patterns are not there as well. It was probably like 6 to 7 of the No Me patterns that just came out for summer 2023 was in the drawer, and it was a waste of time to dig through the drawer if you can't get all of them, right? So that's just my opinion. But I will be going back during the next sale when the next MCCALL'S and No Me patterns will probably be on sale around the second week of August. So I will go and get them then. All right. But if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello, ciao, guten tag, aloha, hola, konnichiwa, wagwan, sambadani, salon, bonjour. If you're returning, you guys know what to do by now. Go get your quick snack, something to drink, come on back so we could go ahead and get into this video. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to keep this video as short, sweet, and to the point because it's not a lot like the Butterick, Vogue, and Simplicity was. However, it's a good amount. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. But before we get into it, you guys know what I'm going to let you guys do. 30 seconds over there. Well, I'm going to say about 20 seconds over to the concession stand so you can refill on your snack and your drink. Come on back so we can go ahead and get into it. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go to that concession stand. So now that you have refilled your snacks and your beverage of choice is what I'm going to say. All right, let's go ahead and get right on into it. So there's one new look pattern that I picked up. Actually, there's a few of them, but I had my daughter already stashed those away because if you don't remember from the video that I posted, how Tuesday, it was how I store my 3,000 plus pattern. If you missed that video, I'll go ahead and link it below as well as on the end screen. However, she did put the new look patterns, a lot of the new look patterns away, but this one happened to remain on my table, okay? And the first one is New Look 6571. It's this one right here. It's just to miss this dress. I like this dress, and I have some brocade that is very similar to the brocade in this on this pattern. Now, the brocade that I have came from Doha, Qatar, way back in like 2017, I think. So yeah, I think it was like 2017 when, you know, I picked it up from Doha, Qatar at that time. So I might have enough to use that. I think I picked up maybe 4.5 yards of fabric. And based on my size from this pattern, I will need roughly about, if I do view A, what I'm looking at, I will need about 3 3/8 yards of fabric, give or take. About 3 yards of fabric, 3 3/8. So it might be enough for this pattern. I don't know, but I like this one. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Now I'm gonna show you the MCCALL'S. Everything is MCCALL'S from here on out. Nothing new look, nothing No Me. So I'm just gonna tell you guys the number. All right. So getting right into it. And by the way, I already put the season and the year on the patterns because my daughter started fouling them and I was like, hey, hold on, wait a minute, don't foul those yet. Because like I told you guys that she fouls these patterns for me, so I've been making it easier for her to foul, and a lot of them she has to put in a bucket outside because some of them are just like older patterns from like 2015, 2016, 2017. I think there's a few 2019 patterns in here as well, but let's go ahead and get right on into it. So the first one is MCCALL'S 7200. This one right here, it is a Mrs. jacket, and I love this pattern. That's what you need, no notions, all right? So no zippers, no snaps, no buttons, no elastic, no, none of that. You just need some seam binding, but you guys know what I said about seam binding. If you don't want to use it, guess what you could do? Make your facing, all right? No notions whatsoever. So this one is 7200. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one, which is 7201. All right. So this one right here is a jacket pattern as well. The notions for this one, you will need a button. Now, you can definitely make this pattern a no notion pattern as well. How do you do that, you may ask? Just don't add a button. You can add a belt to it, right? And have no notion. Shh. Don't say that I told you that, but that's how you could get this pattern as a no notion pattern. Thank me later, all right, for that hack. But it's 7201. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Next one is 7203. It's a jumpsuit pattern. So when I first laid eyes on this pattern, I knew I wanted to do view B, which is this one right here with the elastic at the bottom. That's the view that I'm here for. I'm not here for the sleeveless view. I don't know why I don't like the sleeveless view, but I'm here for view B. So that's the view that I want to do when I get around to this pattern. It's 7203. Moving over to the next one. So the next one is 7471. It's a Mrs. Top pattern or tunic pattern. So for this one, it looks like you do not need any notions at all. No nothing. No zippers, no snaps, no buttons, no elastic, none of that. It is a top and tunic pattern. So get into this pattern. Go ahead and write it down on your list since you've been keeping track of these no notions patterns. All right. So let's go ahead and move over to the next one. So the next one is 7473, which is this pattern right here. It's a Mrs. Tunic pattern. And this one, you just need 2 buttons, only if you're doing view C. So this is another pattern that's no notions, all right? But if you decide to do view C, which you have like some tabs, you will need 2 buttons for that. However, you can still make that one no notion and just kind of roll up your sleeves and leave off the tabs. You could do that as well. But once again, this pattern is 7473. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one, which is 7484. Now this pattern is a cardigan and vest pattern. You will need 2 snaps if you do view A, but if you do view B or view C, there's no notions. You're just gonna need some fusible interfacing rib knit, all right? But this is a Kalela Ali pattern. It's an older pattern from fall 2016, but it's 7484. Moving over to the next one. So the next one is 7507. It's like a wedding dress type pattern, I guess you could say. This is also a created pattern. So basically you create it how you want for this pattern. So yeah, I like it. So listen, this pattern was one of the patterns that I seen for a sexy holiday style dress because this pattern originally came out in winter holiday 2016. And what I was looking at was this one right here. If you could really see it, it's kind of like a sweetheart neckline, right? And then you have kind of like a slim fitted skirt. So I feel like this would be great for a date night. I was not really looking at the pattern for like the train, which that would be great if you have some pants and you want to put some train with it. That would be good for that. But I really was not looking for what the model have on. I was really going for that sweetheart top, bodice or whatever, and then the straight skirt, the fitted skirt. So that's what I was looking for. But let's go ahead and move over to the next one, shall we? All right, so the next one is 7546. It's basically your typical button-down shirt. I have this pattern in a PDF. When MCCALL'S went to PDF patterns, when they first said that they were going to be doing PDF patterns, because this was not in my Joann's, but this pattern came out before I moved down to Florida. So with that being said, I got it in PDF when it was on the Something Delightful website, but now I actually have the physical pattern now. So, but it's 7546. Moving over to the next one. So the next one is a pattern from 2015, y'all. And I like this one. Yes, I feel, I want to do view B on this pattern, but it's 7156. It's a romper and jumpsuit pattern. So I like view D, the romper, but I also like, I like view C too, which is a shorter version. So you have the romper and the jumpsuit. So I would probably do view C or view D on this pattern. But once again, it's 7156. Moving over to the next one, which is 7158, which is a nice, like a slip. It reminds me of like a maxi style slip dress for this one. But for this one, you need no notions. Okay, so I like that. Go ahead and write it down, girl. Yes, ma'am. It's 7158. Once again, no notion patterns, no notions whatsoever. No zippers, no snaps, no buttons, no elastic, none of that. No notions. 7158. Write it down on your no notions list. All right, you're welcome. Moving over to the next one. It's 7167. It's a jumpsuit pattern. It's an older jumpsuit or romper pattern. So for this one, I want to do view D with the short sleeves for this one. So yeah, it's this one right here, view D, but I could also see myself making it a little shorter and do view C as well. But this is 7167. Move it over to the next one. So the next pattern is 7891, which is this one right here. It is a Mrs. Dress pattern. I love this pattern. I've been looking for this pattern for so long, since it came out. I don't know why I did not get it when it first came out in 2019, but I am here for what the model have on view D on this pattern. Once again, it's 7891. Moving over to the next one. So the next one is 7892. I like what the model have on in view D, but I also like view B on this pattern as well, as like a wrap top is what this one is. But it's an easy to sew pattern from the back of the envelope. But once again, it's 7892. Moving over to the next one. So the next one is 7894. I like the fact that you can play around with some color blocking on this dress, but I am here for view A. I don't want the color block. I just wanted a solid color. View A is what I'm looking at doing for sure, but you will need a zipper because it goes in the back of this dress. I believe it's a back zipper. No, actually, this is a side zipper. One thing about side zippers on dresses, it's side zipper underneath your arm. I can't stand that. So what I will probably do is close up that zipper on the side and move it to the back of the dress. That's probably one thing that I would do because I'm not a huge fan of zippers on the side of my dress. All right. But let's go ahead and move over to the next one. So the next pattern is 7900, which is this one right here, which is a Mrs. top. It's like a button front top. So for this one, I like what the model is wearing in view D of this pattern, which is this one right here. So yeah, that's the one that I like, and that's the probably the one that I will be doing. But once again, it's 7900. Moving over to the next one. So the next one is 7902. It's a Mrs. top. So I am here for view A, C, and D. I like almost every single view on this top. You will need some buttons for this top, all right? But once again, it's 7902. Moving over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 7926. It's another created pattern. This one is an easy to sew pattern. It is a special occasion pattern. I'm sorry, it's not an easy to sew pattern. It's an average to sew pattern. And this one, you do not need any notions. So get into this pattern. No notion whatsoever. 7926. The only notion that you need outside of your fabric is some lining, all right? But this is 7926. Let's move over to the next pattern. Next one. So this one was sewn by so many sewists. on Instagram. Look up the hashtag because I can list so many names and I'm not going to do that here. It's 7922. And I've been wanting to sew this dress for such a long time. However, I want to do view A and view C on this pattern. So view A, I have some gingham fabric that I got in Doha, Qatar that I still want to use for this one, which is view A. And then I also have some linen for view C. So I think that's what I'm going to do when I get around to this pattern. But once again, it's 7922. Moving over to the next one. Next one, 7111. Go ahead and write this down because if you do view A or view B, it's no notions. However, if you do C or D, it's a snap that you will need to sew on. All right. But this is basically a loose fitted dress with sleeve variation. It's an easy to sew pattern. I know many sewers have done this pattern. It's just, I just now picked this pattern up, okay? But it's 7711. Moving over to the next one. Next one, 7712. Another good staple pattern that I did not have in my wardrobe. Don't come for me. But it's a good pattern, all right? 7712. So let me say one thing about why I do not have a lot of these patterns. Because in 2017, I was out of the country for a little while. And then in 2018, I decided that I was not going to be picking up patterns every season. I wanted to kind of like skip 2 seasons before picking up patterns. Wrong idea, and I said this before in a different video. I highly advise you guys to pick up the patterns when they are out. And here's the reason why. One thing that I have noticed is the next year. So basically, let me give you guys a whole thing of what I just seen for myself and with my own eyes. Patterns from 2022 are being pulled from the Joann's pattern drawer when the new season comes available. So we're in summer 2023. So once we hit pre-fall, the pre-fall 2022 patterns are no longer in the Joann's pattern drawer. So if you did not pick up patterns during that time, you may not be able to pick them up. 2021, you probably won't find them either, okay? So now I know that I will pick up during the season, okay? And this is one of the reasons why, because a lot of like my MCCALL patterns from 2017 to 2018, there's a lot of gaps simply because I didn't pick up during that time. All right. So I do not have a lot of patterns in the year 2017 or 2018. Like during that time between summer 2017, I would actually say pre-fall 2017 and summer 2018. That was the time where I was like, you know what? I'm tired of just buying patterns every season. I'm going to go, you know, I actually went about 9 months without buying patterns. Was it beneficial? Yes, because I wanted to sew through my stash and I was able to do some sewing, but I had to do some other things. All right. So I took a step back in sewing. But yes, this is 7712. I went out on a tangent. I'm sorry, I'm back. Let's get back to the regular schedule viewing. But it's 7712. Moving over to the next pattern. 7716. Jumpsuit pattern. Love it. And now I have it. I've been on a hunt for this pattern for such a long time. I've been knowing about this pattern. It has never actually been at like the top of my list to get, but it's been on my list to get if I was ever to find it. And you guys know I'm not a person that goes to eBay and purchase a pattern for $8, $9. It's not going to happen because it's a out of print pattern. I could literally wait for Simplicity to have this pattern on sale for $4.99, $2.99, $3.99, whatever. But, you know, I figured that something was going to come out very similar to this. So I never picked it up because I just wasn't going to pay $8 to $9 on eBay, Etsy, or Amazon. You guys know what I mean. If you know, you know. But it's 7716. This is a jumpsuit pattern, and I am literally here for view C. what the model have on, and that's that. All right, let's move over to the next one. Next one is 7717. All right, so the sleeves is very similar to a Vogue pattern that I have, but the dress is like a satin dress, you know, so it's like a sheath dress or a shift dress. Actually, it reminds me kind of like a shift dress, but looking at the line art, it does have like your front pieces and your side front and side back pieces as well. So you will have some, you know, putting together. I mean, like if you look at it from what the model is wearing, it looks like the bodice is one piece. No, there's a front piece and then there's a side front, side back piece. You get what I'm saying. But this is actually rated as an easy to sew pattern. Easy to sew? What? When you have a front and a side front, a back and a side back, normally that ain't easy to sew. But they knew what they were doing, right? Okay, so I actually like this pattern. I might have to put this on my list to do like for my birthday that's coming up, or first part of the spring of next year. But this definitely have to be on my list. It's 7717, and you will need some notions, by the way, so let's just be clear. 7717. Moving over to the next one. So the next one I have a sew along on the channel for. I sewed this pattern back in 2021, and I actually gave the top to my sister. It's 7724. It is basically a button down top with some off the shoulders going on. Now I did a sew along to view E, which is the white top, right, button down top right here. I'm going to do it again because that top, I felt like it was just too tight in the bust area. I needed a little bit more room. After sewing it, I photographed in it. I wore it like 2 or 3 times before giving it to my sister. But this is a fresh new copy. This is 7724. I will go ahead and link to that sew along in the description box below, as well as on the end screen as well. I think the top was called Bardot top or something like that. So it was part of the top series in 2021, but I will link to it so you are able to go to the sew along, pick up this pattern, go to the sew along, sew with me. All right. But it's 7724. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one. Next one. Oh, I love this pattern. 7740. Once again, it's a 2018 pattern, so that's why I didn't have it. But this one right here, you will need a 7-inch zipper. I like View D, which is this one right here with the ties. But I also like what the model is wearing with that little bow in the back right here as well. So I will probably do both views when I get around to it and show a little back action for sure. But this is 7740. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one. Next pattern. I know this is Delilah from Simply Delilah, is one of her favorite patterns. Natita from So Natural Dane, one of her favorite patterns as well. This is 7742. Y'all, I have this pattern in my pattern stash. And when I picked up this pattern, I was like, do I have it or do I not have this pattern? I couldn't remember. So because it was free, I went ahead and snatched this one too. It was a total of 5 of these patterns that she was giving away. And I only got one because I wasn't trying to be greedy like that, right? Show your appreciation, okay? But this is 7742. And listen, I plan on doing View D. I have some fabric like this gingham. Actually, yeah, like this gingham, checker, or whatever you want to call it, that I picked up from Doha, Qatar. Because I picked up a lot of gingham from Doha, Qatar. And I have a video of all the fabrics that I picked up from Doha, Qatar. I will go ahead and link it below so you're able to see the fabrics that I picked up in Doha, Qatar a couple of years ago. So I'll link that video in the description box below. All right, but it's 7742. Moving over to the next one. Next one is 7744. I like this pattern. Yes. All right, so I am here for what the model is wearing. View B on this pattern. I love those sleeves. Yes, yes, yes. And guess what? You're only going to need elastic. Yes, like I told you guys, one caveat. If you've been keeping a list of all the patterns that I showed you that all you need is elastic, baby, go to Waywack and get you some elastic. Reason being is because it's kind of like what you call buy more, save more. You buy more, you save more money, okay? Get up on Waywax for all of your notions. You're welcome. All right, I'll go ahead and put the Waywax website in the description box so you are aware of where to get those at, okay? But if you haven't heard of Waywax for notions, you've been living underneath a rock. I thought I had a Waywax box so you could see, but I am due for an order and I'll be ordering soon. But this is 7744. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. So the next pattern is 7868. I love this top for view D. All right. So I like the fact that it has elastic right here, but it also has like a cuff right here on the sleeve. So I'm here for that. But this is 7868. Moving over to the next one. So the next pattern is 7754, which is a pair of pants. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, I love elastic pants, but I definitely love fly front pants as well. I like making them. It's my whole vibe and all that good stuff. And I know a lot of people are like, I can't stand a fly front. Just give me those elastic pants and I'm good to go. Well, your girl loves some fly fronts. I know you like, Rochelle, you like most difficult patterns. Well, it's not that. It's just like, I like style, I like details, and I guess I'm just the type of person that just like patterns that have a lot of details to it. Even though your girl is getting ready to sew a lot of easy patterns too, because I think I need a break from these average to sew patterns, these time consuming patterns, these patterns that are a lot of pattern pieces. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. All right, so this is 7754. And this is a pair of fly front pants, and I needed these in my wardrobe. Period, point blank, end of discussion. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next one. All right, so the next one is 7757. Now, you guys know I said this is basically a new look pattern, and I don't want to butcher the number, but I think I remember the number is new look 6756. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the screen just in case I am wrong. It's either 6756 or 6758. Either one of those numbers is the new pattern for this pattern, MCCALL'S 7757. All right. I don't need to say much about this pattern because I have 2 copies of this now. One is one that I cut that I actually made. I did not do a sew along for it or anything. I made in a gray. I'll put it up so you're able to see that. And then, you know, like I still wear those pants now. I don't wear the top because the top is a little big. To be honest, I need to take in the elastic, but I still wear these pants all the time. All right. I think I'm due for a new pair. All right. But it's 7757. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next one is 7758. It's a 2-piece set. So I could see some things with the top. I love the pants, but I could see doing some hacks with this top. Basically use the top, which is view A, as kind of like a guide to something else I want to do. Yes, that's what I could see this for. But it's 7758. And in terms of notions, you will need some elastic for the pants. And then view A, you would need like tassels. So they have some tassels going on right there, but you can save you some coins and just do a drawstring. All right. And just get some elastic. So this could be placed on your list of elastic only patterns. You're welcome. 7758. Moving over to the next one. So the next one is 7778. I don't know why I don't have this pattern, but now I do. All right. But this, I like view A, but I also like view B on this pattern as well. All right. But this is 7778. It's an easy to sew pattern as well. So let's go ahead and move over to the last pattern. So the last pattern is 7774. Mimi G made this pattern. I like this fabric. I haven't been able to find this fabric right here for view C, but yes, if I'm able to ever find this fabric, I am going to be picking up 4 yards of this fabric. All right. But yeah, that's it. It's 7774 is the last pattern on this list. All right. So that's all the patterns that was gifted to me or given to me for free during the dumpster dive that I have talked about in 2 previous videos. If you are unaware of how I received these patterns, go to the first video, which I will link all the videos to the dumpster dive as a playlist in the description box below, as well as on the end screen, so you're able to view that. All right. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And since you made it this far, do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and also smash that notification bell so you are notified every time your girl uploads a new video. So I'll talk to you soon, and thank you so much for watching. So until next time, keep sewing.
Where's Da Vinci?
They're picking sides, they're crossing the lines.